Never miss the news that matters to you. Follow WWAY on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Scott Dean with your WWAY Storm Track 3 AccuWeather forecast first.
After a windy and wet start to the day with temperatures in the 60s, we're falling now into the 50s, and it looks like we're headed into a much cooler period. We'll have all the details coming up. WWAY News at 11 starts right now.
This is the place for news that matters. You're watching WWAY News at 11.
A missing boy has been found alive. This after a 3-day search. Now on WWAY News at 11, who found Casey Hathaway? A live press conference coming up. Plus, community members meet to talk improvements for Wilmington's North Side neighborhood. What everyone there is saying. And many businesses still rebuilding after Hurricane Florence. How the government shutdown could impact those efforts. Thanks for joining us tonight for your news at 11. I'm Amanda Fitzpatrick. Missing 3-year-old Casey Hathaway has been found alive. It's a miracle. 3 days after he disappeared from his grandmother's home. This is all according to the FBI and the big story at 11. The 3-year-old boy went missing Tuesday afternoon. The Craven County Sheriff says that a grandmother was looking after him and a few other children at the time that he disappeared. They looked for him for about 45 minutes and then they called the police. Now, Casey was located by a professional search and a rescue crew just this evening, and it was near his home where he went missing, again in Craven County. Hathaway is at Carolina East Medical Center in New Bern. He's being evaluated. The FBI says that he is in good health and that he is talking and has been reunited with his family. Again, a miracle. We'll listen in now to a live press conference in New Bern.
That we're very thankful that you took the time out to come search for Casey and prayed for him, and he's good. He is good. He's up and talking. He's already asked to watch Netflix, so he's good. He is good.
Thank everybody for coming out, all the prayers. It means a lot. Yeah, just
thank him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy. So I do want the captain just to say a little bit, you know, how we came about finding. You know, it was once again, it was folks giving us tips and leads, and the rescue teams and everybody that was out there jumping right on it and following every lead. And I'll tell you, we had a lot of them come in, and we hit every one of them immediately and diligently, and it paid off. And I could not be happier by the way this turned out. I know we're all ready for some rest, but I want this gentleman right here to say a few words.
We, like the sheriff said, we responded on a tip and located by voice this young man and went to him, disentangled him from some briars that he was hung up in, brought him out. Here we are. So thank everybody that did assist. Thanks for all the community support and everybody that helped us.
So real quick, we'll take a few questions. Of course, we'll be available the rest of the week, but anything, Brian, what you got, buddy?
Any indication he'd been out there the whole time? You've searched that area, it seems like. It's been around. Had he been there the whole time, or was this something that, another thing that we have a question to answer here? Yeah,
I don't believe he was there the whole time. I believe he did some moving around. That was an area that we were getting to. You know, we initially went into the search where he was last seen, and that's where we started working it out methodically. So this was definitely an area. We got a call, a tip. Our deputies and the captain went straight to the location. As soon as the captain stepped out, he heard Casey asking for his mother. And he was about 40 or 50 yards into the woods. I had to go through a lot of water to get to him, and then Casey was in there in some vines and thorn bushes. So.
Did he indicate how he got in there himself?
No, sir. He hasn't said a whole lot, except when his little sister came in there, he really brightened up then.
How far from the original location?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I believe he was. You want to speak to his condition?
He was cold, but he was verbal in command to us. So the more we warmed him up, the more active he became. And you know, I think for the conditions, I think he fared very well. You know, we're very fortunate for where we are.
We got a lot of rain yesterday. It was wet.
He was. I think everything in there is wet right now. Everything's wet. So.
And I'll tell you, like I've said in the previous, this terrain was just, it presented so many tough challenges for us, and a lot of it had to do by foot. We did have a lot of aircraft come in, and I do want to acknowledge, the FBI. These folks have been awesome. They came in here and they just brought so many resources.
You were listening to a live press conference. Keep in mind, 3-year-old Casey Hathaway found alive. Keep in mind, this little boy had disappeared 3 days ago from his grandmother's home. No one knew what happened. And somehow, as you just heard in that press conference, the sheriff's office saying that they found him entangled in some type of, I guess, briar or some type of wire there in the woods. A man, they just showed you rescuing him and bringing him to safety to his sister and his family. They said he's talking. They say he's ready to watch Netflix. So he is doing well. Again, a positive outcome to a story that we were all worried about and praying for. So we're hoping little Casey, who again is not injured, they say he's okay, and that is the outcome that we were all hoping for. All right, well, new at 11 right here in our area. The list is long for the needs of neighbors and families in North Wilmington. That's why many of them packed an inner city church to come together, seeking some solutions to better their community. Andrew James joining us now in studio. So Andrew, what are neighbors saying?
Well, Amanda, they're saying a lot of things, but let us be known, no public leaders or police called this meeting. Neighbors and community advocates came together to finally start the conversation to find real solutions for bettering the standard of living for North Wilmington.
I think they definitely do want to see change, and that's why they're here tonight.
A conversation long overdue.
Impact in their lives that's there.
North Wilmington neighbors, advocates, and community leaders seeking solutions.
94% of the community said that they do want to be healthy, but then you have to think about all the barriers that inhibit them.
On the north side, neighbors say they are endangered by gentrification and a lack of voice, proclaiming for the same quality of living as any other taxpayers in the city.
Our parks on the north side are not taken care of like the parks in other areas.
The conversation, a direct result of a study conducted by the New Hanover Regional Medical Center's Northside Community Initiative. A recent study by the medical center outlaid many struggles on the north side.
Housing is a huge issue. Food is a huge issue for the north side.
With the ears of city and county leaders, neighbors are able to directly say what's needed. A grocery store, improvements to Portia Hines Park, and more options to get families and neighbors together. A new idea brought up, a neighborhood trail.
If they came out and walked around the neighborhood, they say, oh, the north side's not this crazy place that I read about. It's very nice.
It's the first step to tackle a long list of needs, but it's a strong showing that the north side wants to see change.
To be at this meeting tonight shows that they're interested and they want to know and they want to help.
And many neighbors hope that more town halls like this come out of it. The Northside Community Relations Committee, though, meets the first and third Wednesday evenings of each month that is, at the Hemingway Community Center off Red Cross Street, and they talk about this stuff. Amanda?
All right, thank you, Andrew. Well, a stable of downtown Wilmington for 3 decades will soon just be a memory. The Coast Guard cutter Diligence will be leaving Wilmington next year with no plans of returning. We learned just from the Coast Guard today that the home port of the Diligence will be moved from the Wilmington riverfront, where you normally see it, to the Naval Air Station in Pensacola, Florida. And by the way, this is going to happen on or around September 30th, 2020. Wilmington Mayor Bill Sappho says this has been in talks for about 2 years. The Coast Guard would not give us an official reason for the move, but Mayor Sappho says he believes it is due to higher security requirements that downtown Wilmington cannot provide.
We as a city have asked them was the fact that if they were to leave, that the city would like to have that piece of property that they sit on and to incorporate it into the waterfront park there on Water Street and make it a magnificent park for our community. But obviously it's a sad day for our community. These people are friends of ours.
Wilmington was designated as a Coast Guard city in 2003, and Mayor Sappho says the city will not lose that designation. A letter the Coast Guard sent to Congressman David Rouser says the move will support their home porting priorities by clustering cutters of the same class. You know, it is a proposal that would completely change a historic New Hanover County school. So community members and leaders, they all met this afternoon so they could discuss the future of Williston. The committee is made up of educators, along with some community members throughout New Hanover County. But Board of Education member David Wortman has proposed to turn Williston Middle School into a fine arts school for students around the county. Committee members brought up a variety of questions, and a lot of them, they had some concerns about that proposal. One major concern, Williston Middle School holds a bit of history for the community, and people, they say they don't want to lose that. New tonight at 11, New Hanover County Schools, they've completed a local investigation after it was impacted by a grade calculation software issue. The school system says a total of 23 schools will need to recalculate final grades for any terms that have been finalized. That includes Ashley, Laney, New Hanover, and Hoggard High Schools. Of those 23 schools, only certain teachers will need to perform that task. That process should be complete by January 30th. Leland, you know, it's a popular place for the sport of pickleball. Have you heard of it? Now there's a tournament happening, and it's all for a good cause. We'll tell you all about it. And businesses in North Carolina are continuing to rebuild months after Hurricane Florence.